Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all doing well, and welcome to Game 2 between Martinius and Oishi from the Total Tavern Championship that happened about a week or two ago, but it is going to be Beastmen versus Slaanesh, and this is do or die for Martinius here. So he is going to be using a great Bray Shaman with the Lore of Beast, so obviously Flock of Doom spam. Interesting choice to see him on foot, maybe trying to just kind of go really low to the ground, have a very wide army, or just maybe avoid being, lured into things with rampages, because if he's on foot, he's not going to move as quickly into enemy lines. Kind of a cool idea. But in the front, it's going to be Gore Herds backed up by Ungabunga Raiders. They're very good in this matchup. Ungor Raiders are what counters the Fiends of Slaanesh and the Seekers, Heartseekers, Hellstriders. But of course, Seekers and Heartseekers were banned for this tournament because they're an incredibly bugged unit. But yeah, Slaanesh is still extremely good. Even if you take Hellstride or Heartseekers and Seekers out of the game, man, Slaanesh is still a top tier faction. They're very good. We got Khorne Gors on the flank. I do like the Khorne Gors to just kind of chill out in the back objective because Slaanesh would like to pressure that with, I think, something quick. It's very cool to have those. Some Butchers of Kalkengard and a Wargor on a Chariot. Now, looking at Oishi's build, wow, very unorthodox. Going to be using the dreaded Seeker Chariots. Now, I think these things are terrible. They do some damage on impact, which you're going to see in a second, but they just die so quick. They die to a stiff breeze. I mean, 26 melee defense and 40 armor is such a low stat line. Azazel is going to be using only Acquiescence, so spamming that for the Slaanesh lore passive, I would imagine. Although no, just going really bare bones with Acquiescence, using him as an assassin. The rest of the build is going to be Chaos Warrior Hell Scourges, extremely meta, and some spears in the secondary to deal with Razor Gores, Minotaurs, those sort of things. So let's get this party started as the Slaanesh Chariots move through. And I mean, look, if he gets away clean here, but no, see, he ate a charge from the Wargor Chariot and ends up being a favorable trade for the Beastmen in terms of just pure value. Seeker Chariots could probably just use a cost reduction. That would be a good way to buff them. Just make them a really cheap expendable chariot that you can be kind of reckless with, but if you micro super well, they can get a big return. I feel like that might be a nice change for Seekers. They could use a little bit of milk. But Hellstrider's being called in, the dreaded double Hellstrider, anti-large. Very good in this matchup. They trade pretty cost effectively into Centaurs. Granted, Centaurs, I mean, it's more of an evenish trade, but being able to trade evenly with Centaurs is already a win, right? So here they come. The Hellstriders moveth, ladies and gentlemen. The Gore Herds stand at the ready, and Azazel going to be cackling up in the sky. Acquiescence getting ready to cast on most likely a mobile fight. If you have a Hellstrider versus a Centaur and you debuff it, your unit will win that more decisively, right? Senti's going for a charge into the Hellscourge Warriors, but not going to get too much out of that, and probably regretting not bringing the Rampage right now. Would have been able to Rampage those Centaurs and just straight up kill them and drag them to their doom, so that would have been a very nice catch. On the backside, we have a bit of a skirmish. It is going to be Seeker Chariots into the Gore Herds, but you see what I'm saying? They charge in, their stat line is just so low that they just get their bread buttered, and it looks like Martinius is able to deal with these things pretty easily. Over here, we do get the Butchers of Kalkengard moving in, charging to intercept those bad boys, but Slaanesh does have the capture weight advantage. They have 5, 10, 15, 20 capture weight, 25 capture weight, and the Beastmen looks like they have 5, 10, 15, 20, a little bit less. Although they do move some more units on, and it does kind of normalize that situation. Flock of Doom activated, Flock of Win, as it does nail the Chaos Warriors, as well as the Devoted Marauders, and the Butchers of Kalkengard go pretty deep, actually, with the Wargor. Could be isolated by some anti-large Hellstriders right now if they overstayed their welcome, but I don't think they're going to. Probably going to be pulling back here. But the Beastmen seem pretty comfortable, honestly. The Ungor Raiders are going to be generating quite a bit of value. Butchers of Chattengard going to be moving into the back of these Chaos Warriors here, and should be able to take them to Pound Town, although it looks like they're trying to retreat through the ranks to not get caught by the anti-large Hellstriders. Granted, they would hold their own. Their regeneration, I mean, I've seen so many games won by the Butchers of Kalkengard where they come back with 2 models, and just terror route something and are just so brutal. Okay, Oishi going for a bit of a surround, actually. So on the outside, we do see Oishi with the double Hellstriders waiting in the wings, but we do have Khorne Gors on the outside, Centaurs and Hounds at the ready to try and defend the position. The Seeker Chariots, literally move in. They just get, touched by these Gore Herds. They get smashed up and can't even deal with an archer unit. I feel like they're really bad, but Oishi's an extremely high-level player. So, I mean, if he's had success with them, maybe he's had times where they've done well for him, but honestly, I just don't see it. So, Butchers of Kalkengard going to be charged by the Princes of Devotion, which is not a cost-effective engagement for the Beastmen at all. These guys do have very good anti-large, and I believe are ITP as well, much like the entire Slaanesh roster is. Good Flock of Doom, though, in response. Flock of Doom going to be nailing a couple units, and the Chaos Warriors are getting worn down by the Butchers, but the Butchers are also taking casualties. They've lost one of the Bulls, and the Spears are going to continue generating a lot of value here, as we do see even more Slaaneshi Heretics piling on. So the Hellstriders of Slaanesh moving in, and the Butchers of Kalkengard do get Pan's Impenetrable Pelt. Say that 3 times fast. That's a bit of a tongue twister, but it is going to be a melee defense and Fizz Res buff. Very nice. Oishi being very cautious with the Hellstriders. I think he's trying to wait for the Beastmen to overextend and maybe come back and get some freebies in the backfield. The ones in the woods are the Lash version or the anti-large version. Okay, so they're the anti-large version, but now they're going to be coming out. As far as the fighting on the back goes, the Chariot has been dealt with. A little bit of light harassment to Hellstriders, but Khorngors are able to deal with those well. Unga Bunga Raiders are online, getting nasty damage into the Hellstriders here. And another beautiful Flock of Doom. Flock of Doom's been getting huge value. Azazel, he better watch out, man. He's playing a dangerous game. He's a very, very squishy character, and it looks like he did go for an assassination attempt in the Great Bray Shaman. Not a bad idea. Beastmen are not the highest leadership faction. They're not as low as, like, I would say, like Greenskins and Skaven and whatnot, but although Greenskins do have some high leadership units in like the Black Orc and the Biggins and things like that. So kind of interchangeable, I suppose. Azazel is going to go in for it again, but he better watch out. I mean, the Butchers of Kalkengard, yeah, I was about to say, immediately are going to be given the attack order. He does an anime move, but anime is not going to be able to stand up to the power of the Butchers of Kalkengard as they move in. And if he gets trapped there, man, he's going to get taken to pound. His pound land is going to be, pound land will be gone too. Pound stretcher is going to happen. All sorts of bad stuff. So he's at 5,000 HP. Azazel does have high melee defense, so you've got to be careful there, but the Gore Herds are able to chew through the Chaos Warriors and the Princes using the juicy Flock of Doom support. Flock of Doom are a very, very good spell. On the outside here, Khorngors battling versus the Hellscourge Warriors. Khorngors do have pretty good AP value, so they're able to hold their own there. Centaurs are just ripping through and tearing through these loose infantry positions. You can see we have two Centaurs, one of which is the Great Weapon, Sons of Goros. Pretty hard-hitting unit. Sons of Goros do have very, very decent melee attack and also high weapon strength with very good armor-piercing value. So they get a rear charge in, Chaos Warriors get their bread buttered, and that is not great for them. Now, Azazel gets taken down quite a bit by those Butchers of Kalkengard. Also, this is a tech I've been seeing quite a bit. So if you're dealing with infantry-sized characters like Valkia, using a mounted chariot character is very cost-effective against them, and that's been able to really mess up Azazel because he's an infantry-sized character. This Wargore on the chariot probably has a bonus versus infantry of at least 15. Let's go and double-check that. It's actually 25. So when connecting with Azazel, it's really, really cost-effective. That's a really cool tech that I've seen Martinius. I played against Martinius in a tournament recently, about a month ago, and he crushed my Valkia using an Exalted Hero of Tzeentch on a chariot. It was a really, really cool play. I thought that was awesome. So on the back point, it is being held by the Beastmen. Slaanesh did have the objective advantage until recently, but it looks like the Bray Herd was able to get that. Up in the sky, we do see Azazel flying around. Reinforcements are going to be Furies. Now, I don't see too many good targets for Furies, honestly. It feels like a bit of a strange call into me. But in the back, a couple of Hellstriders looking for opportunities. Going to be collapsing the Khorngor formation, but the Khorngors did, of course, lose to the Chaos Warriors with Hellscourges, as they should. They're a halberd unit. And we do see Narcissism activated. So these Minotaurs are suddenly very vain and looking at themselves in the I guess, silver of their blades. I have no idea. But they're now free. And Azazel, once again, going for a very aggressive dive, which these dives are not working out for him. And honestly, if Azazel dies, it's probably going to be a big throw, and he would probably lose the game. I mean, the value trading is pretty close. Definitely, I would say Martinius is in a better position. There have been some demons that have crumbled. It's not really being reflected. But yeah, Chariot characters just countering. What the hell is this Benny Hill shit over here, dude? I guess the Chariot, dude, the Fred Durstening is happening here as Azazel is just being, like, escorted off the battlefield. But, it's like the security guard dragging the drunk dude out of the nightclub. But yeah, he's doing it. And back up here, the Butchers of Kalkengard able to break through the Hellstriders. Minotaurs with Great Weapons going to be brutal. And it's kind of looking like the Beastmen are running away with the game a little bit. Although Azazel does turn and fight, he's pinned against he's trapped. Azazel's trapped in the cave. Oh no, Azazel not only fell in the river of Itza, but now he's going to be potentially getting wrecked in the Cave of Borderlos. Is this going to be the new meme here? I don't know. We'll see. 1,500 against 1,600, he might be able to win. And that is the correct play from Oishi, is standing and fighting. When he was running, he was just taking free damage. But yeah, let's just zoom in on this and see who's going to win. Is it going to be the pig on the front? Looks like the Wargore is going to get terrified. Azazel does cause terror. So he does end up getting the dub there. So that's going to keep Oishi in the game for sure. But still, very, very tough situation. Minotaurs, yeah, the Minotaur Khorngor blob is going to be very tough, right? Because the Khorngors will counter any of the Slaanesh Cav, and the Minotaurs are going to crush through the Chaos Warriors. And we do also have Centaurs coming out to help with a nice rear charge there. And the Bray Shaman, Flock of Dooms are just going to be the icing on the cake, right? Back objective, is it being contested? It is not. Firmly held by the Beastmen. Currently, Oishi is down in points. The Beastmen did have the double cap for quite some time, so Oishi is paying the troll toll on the points. Azazel out in the distance here, sitting at 1,200 HP, certainly not very comfortable. The Wargore does rally, and more Centaurs are just going to keep pouring in. Flock of Doom's just getting an insane amount of value against the Chaos Warriors and the Hellstriders and some of the Spear units here, the Devoted Marauders, as the Archers do rally. Now, yeah, Beastmen Cullen's probably just going to be Centaurs for the rest of the game, and Slaanesh actually needs to call in some infantry. They've lost a lot of agency on the ground, although the Forsaken, cool, you don't get to see those terribly often. Really nice acquiescence here. Going to be slowing down the Centaurs, and now potentially going to get hammered by these Forsaken. So Forsaken of Slaanesh do hit very, very hard and are very, very swift. I really like that glow. If I were ever to paint a Slaanesh army, like that scheme, like with kind of the translucent glowing claws, get some like some of those translucent paints, that would look really freaking cool. Yeah, it's actually an idea. Slaanesh is a really, really fun army to paint. Like using like the pink colors and like the really rich silvers. I think Slaanesh is a blast to paint. I haven't painted a Slaanesh army. I painted a detachment of Noise Marines for my old Chaos Space Marine army, which I've since given away to a friend. But yeah, I definitely like painting them. I think that's going to be on the docket for the future. So Forsaken, trading pretty well, but unfortunately for them, their melee defense is not going to hold up against the might of the mighty Butchers of Kalkengard, so they're going to get butchered. More spears on the way in, and we do see the game starting to run away from Oishi, in my opinion. Value is even-ish, sure, but the value tracker doesn't keep track of Flock of Dooms, in my experience. There's a lot of things that it's very, very haggard with. I don't think CA is ever going to fix it. Honestly, if anything, we'll maybe in the future incorporate some sort of a mod into the total Tavern map pack that displays all the data. I think that would be nice. There have been renditions of that in the past, but it's definitely time for a newer one. Anakin, I'm too weak. Sorry, I'm having some allergies today. But moving up on the point, Objective Dose is going to be captured by the Beastmen, and I don't know, what is Oishi going to be able to do, man? He is so far behind. He does go for like a cheeky backcap here with some Hellstriders, but you don't play that game with the Beastmen. They're so fast and so furious. They do arrive onto the point here, and yeah, Centaurs are going to get there. The middle objective's looking very cozy. Azazel honestly might even die in this situation. He's at about 1,000 value here. Spears are going to keep grinding. Hounds chasing, but being run down. Value, you know, Oishi is scrapping hard. He does have some Hellstriders and Slaanesh in the back, but the Gore Herds are going to be left on vacation here. And the Beastmen just have so much more. It's not tracking everything right, so don't trust his value meter. It's been lying to you since the beginning. Azazel down to 600 HP. Certainly grim tidings here, as now we see Seeker Chariots being called out again, and we saw how freaking awful those Seeker Chariots were earlier. They literally just charge into infantry and do a little bit of damage, then just bleed. Yeah, great play there by Martinius and by Oishi. Oishi, I think, to a large extent, that was like a build loss for him. There was some play mistakes. Like Azazel he needed to have more magic, I think. And if you're going to be using Acquiescence in the whip, you should be using the Slaanesh lore passive, which is very good. But Rampage is really good against Beastmen, because Beastmen mobility is really painful. So rampaging them into favorable engagements, I think, is God's here. So some issues from Oishi's build and a little bit there, but aside from that, like everything else is more or less fine. Like this build is good. Yeah, and the Seeker Chariots are just trash. Just cut those things. They suck. Without the Seeker Chariot, he wasted 2,400 gold on Seeker Chariots, and they got like 450 value or something. So yeah, cut those things, and if those minor changes are made, he wins the game or has a better chance, right? But Martinius punished all the mistakes, played very clean with his Minotaurs. His Minotaur play was good. His Centaur play was good. It was just all around a good game. So GG, well played. That was game 2 between these guys, and the next one will be coming up in the next day or two. Probably just have them back-to-back for like 3 days. But yeah, game 3 is going to be quite a bit of fun. We'll see you guys there in a day or two, maybe shorter. We'll see.